Disappointing because we put some time and effort into Cal too, and you know, it's anytime that you can't play an opponent you start to prep for, but it's kind of out of our control, so we took it on to the next opponent and just kind of moved forward. That's all.
What about on the field? Trying to fix on the field
No, it's just the tackling. You know, we just keep addressing it, the fundamentals that go along with it, but just really the big vision of everybody thinks that they're running inside of the football and they believe that they're the only people on the field, and just supporting it from outside in and having the guys, you know, press the near hip inside out, and just the create angles that are really sharp. So when the people, I think one of the problems you have with it when you're running ahead of the football, it's the guys that are behind you that are trying to figure out what angle you're taking. And everybody stays inside out to the ball, and everybody on the outside stays outside in. Makes it a lot easier for things to get defined. And I think that's what you're seeing a little bit of in our bigger plays, is guys that are going ahead of the football, and then the guys that are chasing it all of a sudden have to change their angle instead of just staying inside out, outside in. So that's stuff we worked on fundamentally, and we could steal a couple of days last week.
Xavier had the 2 picks last game. Yeah. What's kind of spurred his emergence?
I just think it's being comfortable and getting more reps. I think there's a lot of those guys that have shown out in the practice field, and you guys are always asking, are we going to see people? But he's done it in practice. It's just a little bit uncertain on a couple things early on when he got in there, and I just think it's reps. But he played really loose and free, and you know, the interception that he had was just making the play on the ball, and he did a couple other things that, you know, didn't produce, but really like a couple of the blitzes where he just took off and just went. So it's comfort, you know, just understanding the package and just you know, knowing what to do and how to do it, and he's going to get a ton more reps.
Was he working on nickel or something?
He was working a little bit of safety, both sides of the safety, but he gives us a little flexibility on third down. He can play multiple spots, so it's just depending on what we're going to call. You know, he's got a skill set to play some man-to-man. He's got a skill set to blitz, so he gives us a dynamic that we haven't had there since probably Talley. He's starting to remind me a little bit of him.
This group's obviously had a lot of injuries this season. Your side of the ball especially. Yeah. Did you see a refreshed group coming back off?
You know, I see a little bit of a refreshed group even this week. You know, I just think there's, you know, you get into a grind, and you know, and like I said beforehand, unfortunately we didn't play, but there's, you know, when you push into the middle of November, whether you're a coach or whether you're a player, it can beat you up quite a bit. So just sit back and kind of address some of the stuff that we got to get better at, but not do it with the kind of the urgency of like we play in like 2 days, to be able to decompress a little bit. I think that's been mentally very healthy for us. And I think a college athlete today, with kind of the stress, the demands of schoolwork, and just everything that goes on being a major college football player, to have a couple of days to just decompress helps you. And I think we've seen that really on Monday, Tuesday, and today, where we see just a team that, you know, just carrying themselves a little bit better than what you would normally see on a team that's been through the grind going into almost December right now.
Is there any concern about corner depth right now?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, it's just working people in there. Now, we do have some people at nickel that can play out there, so they would be an emergency situation. And, you know, guys like Bullock and, you know, Jalen have guys that you have to work during practice just in case. But a lot of these guys are coming back and starting to get healthier. But, yeah, it was 2 weeks ago that we started getting concerned about it and started repping those guys in just emergency-wise.
What's been your thoughts on the progress Max did made?
Yeah, it's just, you know, Max was the guy that we thought just could fill up gaps and, you know, just be a bigger body and be stouter. Now he's starting to play full-time for us, and he's starting to figure things out. So, I mean, he's, you know, not a finished product at all, but I mean, if you think about like 3 months ago, it was an offensive lineman that we were just kind of like a little bit of like, hey, we need him. We're not going to play him a lot, maybe 5 or 6 plays, and then all of a sudden we look at him, he's like playing 15. Now he's playing 17. Now he's making tackles, and it's like, you know what, this could really work out. And I think you're seeing him start to figure things out. You're starting to see him give us just some size. That's what we need more than anything else, is not getting pushed around inside. He's doing that consistently. Now we're doing some stuff schematically with him when we're moving him around, and he's starting to pick that stuff up. And that's always the hardest thing is, just anybody can sit on top of the center and just beat him up, but we asked him to do some things that we want to do pressure-wise or movement-wise, and he's able to do it, which is good. And he feels good about it. We feel good about it. We were probably about 75% sure that this would work, but now he's made us a true believer into it. So that's a really cool part about it.
Let's do one more.
Going into a rivalry game, obviously emotions are at a high. What do you say to guys to make sure that they walk that fine line?
Well, I think a lot of it is, it's gamesmanship too. I mean, I think these kids at the end of the day, I think that the understanding that the game of football is won through fundamentals and technique and execution and all that stuff. But, through rivalry games, whether you're at USC or UCLA or you name it, there's always going to be a little bit of jarring. And, as long as it doesn't go past being disrespectful to somebody, it's going to be a part of rivalries. But when the toe hits the football and that ball gets kicked, these kids are going to go out there and execute both sides. They're going to go out and they're going to go and play really, really hard, really, really fast. And that's the part that I like about it, because there is a little notch up. We didn't play last year in front of a whole fan base last year in our game. It was empty, but I'm telling you, that was the spirit of the game, and it was back and forth. And I mean, it was, if you watch it on TV, you didn't get a sense of it being on the field, because I mean, it was as competitive of you make a play, we make a play, this is going down to the wire, and we expect the same thing. So it's pretty cool that you get teams like this, just the history of it, to be a part of it. They're going to be excited. I know both sides will be excited, and it's just, I think once you get to the game itself, I think it'll be respectful. Guys will play really, really hard, and it should be a hell of a game.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.